The alarm doesn't ring, the ship does. A low vibration through the bunk wall, a metallic hum that seeps into your bones. It's 5:15 a.m., and somewhere above you, the passengers are still dreaming. Down here, the day has already begun. You pull on your uniform, still damp from yesterday's shift, and step into a corridor that smells of detergent and diesel. The lights never turn off below deck. They only dim to pretend it's night. There's no sunrise here, only clocks. And for the next 14 hours, they'll dictate everything you do. When to move, when to smile, when to breathe. Some people think cruise life is all beaches and buffets. For the crew, it's a grind that stretches across steel floors and endless repetition. A quiet endurance hidden beneath the luxury above. This is what a 14-hour workday looks like, when the ocean never lets you rest. 14 hours. That's the average day for thousands of crew members who keep a floating city alive. There's no 9 to 5 here, only shifts that blur into one another, meals taken standing up, and breaks that disappear with the sound of a call bell. Every department has its own rhythm. In housekeeping, they race the clock. In the galley, the air stays thick with steam and deadlines. On deck, heat burns through uniforms before noon. Yet somehow, everything runs like choreography, silent, efficient, relentless. Because on a ship, timing is everything. A single delay below deck ripples upward like a wave, disrupting the illusion of perfection above. Most passengers will never see it. The way crew move in unison, the coded gestures, the smiles that hide exhaustion. They'll only see the service, not the sacrifice behind it. But for the crew, this is the real voyage. A cycle of motion, duty, and survival that repeats until the next port appears on the horizon. By 6 a.m., the crew corridors are alive. Doors click open one by one, uniforms blur past one another, and the air fills with the scent of starch, instant coffee, and metal. The ship hums louder now, a reminder that another day is in motion. The roll call happens fast. Names read, tasks assigned, departments dispatched. There's no small talk, just nods, quick smiles, and the shuffle of shoes against the floor. Everyone already knows what's expected. The rhythm never changes. In the housekeeping section, carts rattle down narrow hallways, stocked with fresh linens and chemical bottles, labeled in 3 languages. Crew members share glances that say everything words don't have time for. You good? You tired? Let's make it through another one. Upstairs, the first passengers are stirring. Down here, the race begins. Cabins must be spotless before breakfast ends. Sheets replaced, mirrors wiped, bins emptied, all before the next inspection. There's no clock to watch, only tasks to survive. The sound of footsteps echoes behind you, followed by the hum of vacuum motors and the faint rhythmic beeping of time scanners recording who's late, who's done, who's still cleaning. The day hasn't reached full speed yet, but already you feel it. The ache starting in your feet, the weight in your shoulders. 13 more hours to go. By noon, the ship feels like it's pulsing. Engines thrum, elevators ding, trays clatter, 1,000 tiny sounds blending into one constant rhythm. Above deck, the passengers are laughing over cocktails. Below, the crew is running out of breath. The galley burns like a furnace. Steam rises off boiling pots while cooks move with the precision of surgeons. Orders come in faster than they can be filled. Vegetarian, no salt, gluten-free, kids menu. Every detail timed to seconds. Burn your hand, drop a plate, take too long, and you fall behind. In the dining rooms, waiters glide through narrow aisles, balancing trays heavier than they look. Every smile is practiced, every word rehearsed. Enjoy your meal, sir. Would you like more bread? They never let the exhaustion show. There's no break when you're serving hundreds. Lunch rolls into dinner prep, and by the time the clock hits 2, the first shift is already 7 hours deep. The only rest is a stolen minute in a stairwell, sipping water from a paper cup, staring at the metal floor, waiting for strength to return. Then the radio crackles again. "Team, let's move." The crew straightens their uniforms, swallows fatigue, and steps back into the rhythm, like waves hitting the hull, again and again, never stopping. By evening, time stops feeling real. The light outside fades, but below deck, it never changes. The same fluorescent hum, the same narrow halls, the same rush that never ends. Dinner service begins, and every department braces for the longest stretch. Housekeeping pushes through final inspections. The galley resets from lunch to dinner, scrubbing pans until the metal shines. Engine crew swap shifts without words, faces glazed with sweat. The noise never stops. Clanging trays, shouted orders, the constant hum of air vents. Somewhere in the crew mess, a few workers eat standing up, still in uniform. The rice is dry, the soup thin, but no one complains. They talk about home, or sometimes not at all. When you've been awake since dawn, silence feels like mercy. Fatigue settles into muscle memory. Movements become automatic. Push, lift, smile, repeat. A 14-hour day doesn't feel like one long shift anymore. It feels like living inside a loop that never resets. By 9:30 p.m., the passengers are watching shows, dancing, drinking under starlight. Below them, the crew wipes the last counters, folds the last towels, checks off the last boxes on their charts. And when the clock finally says it's over, it's never really over. Tomorrow comes in 5 hours. The hum in the walls never stopped. It was just waiting for them to wake again. When you work 14 hours a day, time stops being measured in minutes. It becomes moments. The sting of soap on your hands, the burn in your calves, the sound of laughter from a deck you'll never step on. There's pride in the work, but also a quiet ache that never leaves. You tell yourself it's just another day, but every morning feels heavier than the last. Crew rarely talk about exhaustion. It's a language everyone understands, but no one speaks aloud. In the laundry rooms, in the tiny smoking corners, in the mess hall at midnight, that's where honesty lives. They whisper about home, about missing birthdays, about calling their families between shifts when the Wi-Fi works. Someone says, "I don't remember the last time I saw the sky." No one laughs. They just nod. But there's something sacred in endurance. They find pieces of peace in the smallest things. A shared snack, a favorite song, a glimpse of the sunrise through a service door. It's not rest, not really, but it's enough. Because every new morning proves the same truth. They may be tired, unseen, and forgotten by the world above. But without them, the ship wouldn't move at all. When the lights finally dim, the ship doesn't rest. It only exhales. Engines still hum, waves still break. And deep below the luxury decks, the crew drifts toward a few short hours of sleep. Their cabins are small, their dreams smaller, but their spirit never really fades. Tomorrow, the routine begins again. The same corridors, the same uniforms, the same 14-hour rhythm that makes the ship appear effortless to everyone above. And maybe that's the quiet miracle of it all. How those who work the hardest are the ones nobody sees. Because while the world applauds the destinations, the buffets, and the views, it's the tired hands below deck that keep it all alive. The ship keeps moving. And so do they. You're watching Cruise Threads, where the real stories sail below deck. Subscribe now to keep sailing with the crew who live this life every day.